On Christmas Day, the hottest place in China was not a mall or a church. On Christmas Day, the most lively place in China was not shopping malls, nor churches, but strings of tower-charging texts and images. They exploded on Douyin like fireworks, then spread like a tide through relay reposting. Some people set out flowers, roast chicken, shrimp, and fruit platters, laying a celebratory table for the 34th anniversary of the collapse of the Soviet Union. In the comment section, only one line was left behind, sharp like a knife. When will we celebrate once again? At the same time, Beijing was also setting the table. The Politburo convened a meeting focused entirely on anti-corruption. The tone was more warlike than in previous years. Higher standards, more concrete measures. People inside the officialdom understood it. People in the market understood it too. This was not routine year-end sloganeering. It felt like a trailer for a major reckoning in 2026. Don't miss the next drop. Subscribe and hit the bell. Christmas Day on Douyin. Charging the tower. Toward the fall of the CCP. On December 25th, Today in History on Douyin suddenly turned into an invisible political code. Someone listed 3 dates. December 25th, 1978. Vietnam invaded Cambodia, ending the Khmer Rouge's communist regime that slaughtered nearly 2 million people. December 25th, 1985. Romanian dictator Nicolae Ceausescu was executed by firing squad. December 25th, 1991. The communist state, the Soviet Union, collapsed. The wording was clean. There was not a single curse, not even a mention of the CCP. Yet everyone understood at once who was being referenced and what was being hoped for. Even more ruthless were the images. Some celebrated the 34th anniversary of the Soviet Union's collapse, arranging flowers, roast chicken, shrimp, and fruit like an altar, or like a victory banquet, saying, "The collapse of the Soviet Union is one of the most worth celebrating events for humanity." Then the comment section delivered the final stab. When will we celebrate once again? The power of this sentence lies in its implication. Celebrating once again. When the CCP collapses. This is the increasingly common form of tower charging over the past year. It means one thing. Fear among Chinese people is fading, and the CCP's high-pressure terror-based governance model is losing effectiveness. The same day in Beijing, anti-corruption recocked. On the very same day that undercurrents surged on Douyin, Beijing added a dramatic subplot. On December 25th, the CCP Politburo held a meeting specifically to study and deploy anti-corruption work for 2026, and decided that the 5th plenary session of the 20th Central Commission for Discipline Inspection would be held from January 12th to 14th, 2026. The timing is highly sensitive. Traditionally, year-end Politburo meetings mention anti-corruption together with the economy. Routine procedure. But this one felt more like a special operation, an improvised pre-war mobilization. Commentators pointed out, if anti-corruption during Xi Jinping's first term was a tool to establish authority, then reopening the topic at year-end in his third term looks like an urgent firefighting move, unmistakably confirming the reality of, the more corruption is fought, the more corruption appears. Xi's close allies have fallen in large numbers. His personal authority has long been eroded. Epoch Times commentator Li Linyi said that calling for higher standards and more concrete measures in 2026 suggests 2 things. First, that more senior officials may be taken down. Second, that Xi may be attempting to shift blame, implying that all problems stem from corrupt subordinates. A new anti-corruption playbook. Check the money first, act later. Epoch Times, citing sources within Beijing's political circles, reported that a new large-scale anti-corruption campaign may begin in early 2026, targeting provincial and ministerial-level power circles, and lasting at least 2 years. An even more chilling detail was this sentence. The list is already circulating in a small circle. Watching who appears in official meeting footage has become a way for officials to judge life or death. This perfectly exposes the psychology of the entire officialdom. In a deeply black box system, public appearances become survival indicators. If you appear, you may be temporarily safe. If you don't, speculation begins immediately. Illness? Investigation? Detention? A person close to decision makers, Lu Ming pseudonym, said that Xi Jinping attributes economic slowdown, industrial chain relocation, fiscal pressure, and local administrative paralysis partly to corruption, disloyalty, and non-execution by military and local officials. Xi believes it's not the system, not the external environment. It's cadres lying flat. He thinks many officials only want to embezzle money, refuse to work, and are disloyal to the party. Due to a lack of replacement cadres in the short term, governance is shifting toward check the money first, then act, including investigating family-held properties, corporate equity, freezing accounts, and even scrutinizing relatives' assets. People in Beijing have already started moving their money, Liu said. Some are trying to hide accounts deeper and deeper. A Beijing entrepreneur said. The capital circle is terrified these days. People are scrambling overnight to consult lawyers about how to layer proxy shareholding on top of proxy shareholding. A relative of an official revealed internal discussions about scrutinizing overseas assets, especially Hong Kong accounts. Beijing scholar Mr. Xia analyzed. This isn't a problem that can be solved by arresting a few corrupt officials. It's that people inside the system occupy resources but no longer execute orders. If the party can't extract money, many things will grind to a halt. When local finances are strained, investment weak, and debt crushing, anti-corruption becomes a multi-purpose tool, cleansing disobedient people while legally reclaiming money. 8 CPPCC members removed, a strong systemic smell. On December 24th, authorities announced the removal of 8 members of the national CPPCC. In officialdom language, this usually means that serious violations are already substantiated, with details yet to be revealed. Among them, Cao Jiangguo, Zhang Dongchen, Zheng Yi, and Fan Yushan from the military-industrial system, Lu Guoyu and Yu Paigan from the energy system, Ma Zhenggu from logistics, and the well-known Wang Xinghuan, a urology expert who served as director of Lishanshan Hospital during the COVID-19 outbreak. The systemic smell is strong. These sectors share 3 traits: massive funds, dense projects, and concentrated approval power. Placed within the context of the 2026 anti-corruption direction, it suggests that the next round will target the joints of money flows and power chains. Who signs? Who approves? Who controls budgets? Who decides procurement? Who authorizes debt? This explains market panic. Once anti-corruption enters account-checking mode, survival depends not on innocence, but on the integrity of one's network. And once accounts are checked, networks unzip. Everyone falls out in a chain reaction. The essence of CCP anti-corruption. The CCP allows officials to be corrupt, then confiscates their money in the name of anti-corruption, essentially black eating black within the party. Wang Yukun, PhD, former speechwriter to ex-Politburo Standing Committee member and CCDI chief Wei Jiangqing, analyzed 5 reasons why corruption worsens after 12 years of Xi's anti-corruption. Xi's anti-corruption is not genuine. It is a power struggle tool to purge opponents. To preserve the party, he captures thieves but not the king. Over 530 senior officials were taken down, mostly from Jiang Zemin and Zheng Qinghong factions, yet Jiang and Zheng were never held accountable. Xi's insistence that the party leads everything intensifies corruption. Xi never touched the one-party dictatorship system that breeds corruption. Party control over legislation, enforcement, judiciary, decision-making, supervision, police, prosecutors, courts, with no third-party oversight. The CCP's 26-year persecution of Falun Gong, which Xi has not stopped, has destroyed morality, law, and conscience, through falsehood, evil, and struggle, making corruption terminal. Wang believes that because Xi practices selective anti-corruption, no fallen official truly accepts it, and many officials, families, and backers want Xi removed. When officials move, the economy dies. Officials lying flat is one thing. Once they act, they push the economy directly into crisis. Videos circulated on X showing that on December 24th to 25th, Baoding, Hebei launched so-called market inspections, which residents called fine-based raids. Merchants shut down en masse. Streets instantly became ghost towns. Restaurants, wholesale, hardware, clothing, tobacco, alcohol, and even vegetable markets closed. If a city is afraid to sell vegetables, that's not recession, that's panic contraction. Even more ironic, Shanghai shows a similar empty city feeling. With about 50 days until Lunar New Year, subways are less crowded, traffic thins, stations fill with people leaving early. There were even scenes of someone shouting in subway cars, "Down with the judiciary, down with the Communist Party." No one reported it. New Year uprising, and the countdown begins. According to People's Daily, the Ministry of Public Security reported a group circulating a document titled, "During the 2026 New Year, seize corrupt officials' ill-gotten wealth to support livelihoods and gather uprising energy." The authorities are extremely nervous. From underground resistance to mass labor protests, 2 countdowns are running simultaneously. The people use holidays, history, and coded language to charge the tower. The authorities use meetings, slogans, and lists to cock the spring. Both sides are accelerating, in opposite directions. 2026 has not arrived, but the countdown has already begun. The most violent changes may not come as a single event, but as countless small moments. Someone disappears. An account is frozen. A video is deleted. A coded phrase is suddenly understood by everyone. When a system must rely on higher standards and more concrete measures to prove authority, it often means it is desperately grasping at something slipping away. In 2026, popular unrest may become the CCP's most unsolvable nightmare.